The funny thing about small talk is that most people see it as the opening act at a concert, something to endure before getting to the main event, deep conversations and real connections. That's what we all want, right? But if you put your phone down for just 2 minutes and looked around, you'd realize that every interaction, every relationship, starts with small talk. Even your best friend was once just a stranger who asked, "So, what classes are you taking?" Or some equally awkward question. Now, here's an unpopular take. Small talk isn't really about what you say. Well, for the most part, it's actually about making the other person feel like a human being, rather than a Sims character waiting for input. That's it. You don't need a cheat code, a script, or even charisma. You just need to learn one thing: active observation. Okay, I know that sounds nerdy, but hear me out. Active observation means paying attention to the person in front of you, as if they are the only thing that exists in that moment. Not their vibe, not their aura, just the tangible details. Their shirt, their drink, the way they keep glancing at the clock like they'd rather be anywhere else. Notice these things, then comment on them in a way that invites, but doesn't demand, a response. That's it. I could end the video here, but stick with me, it'll be worth it. Let me explain why this works. First, people love to feel seen. Not in a cringy or so deep and mysterious way, but in a simple "hey, I noticed you exist" way. It's basic psychology. Humans are wired to crave acknowledgement. Second, it's disarming. When you make an observation, you're not pressuring them to perform. You're not hitting them with "so, what do you do?" or "where do you see yourself in 5 years?" You're just tossing a ball in their direction to see if they want to throw it back. Here's an example. You're at a coffee shop, and the person next to you is holding a book. Most people would say, "What are you reading?" because they think that's polite. Wrong. That's pressure. You're asking them to explain, justify, or summarize, and no one wants to do that. Instead, say, "That book looks like it's been through some things." Boom. You've made an observation, and you've done it in a way that's neutral yet interesting. Maybe they'll laugh and say, "Yeah, it's my third reread." Or maybe they'll say, "Oh, it's terrible, I just want to finish it out of spite." Either way, you've started a conversation without making them feel like they're being interviewed. Or let's say you're at a party, an introvert's worst nightmare. Someone walks by with a plate of food that looks questionable. Instead of ignoring them or hiding in the corner, say, "Is that the chicken? It looks like it fought back." Again, you're not asking a question, you're making an observation in a way that invites humor. Maybe they'll laugh and agree. Maybe they'll defend the chicken. Either way, you've opened the door. The beauty of active observation is that it works everywhere: work meetings, first dates, family gatherings, you name it. It's flexible, simple, and, best of all, it takes the focus off you. You don't have to be charming or witty. You just have to notice things and point them out. Simple as that. Now that you know active observation is all about noticing little things, patterns, details, the stuff most people gloss over. What if I told you there's a way to apply that same principle to learning? That's where today's sponsor comes in. Brilliant. Brilliant is kind of like active observation, but instead of helping you notice people and talk to them, it helps you notice patterns, solve real problems, and pick up valuable skills. Whether it's math, programming, data analysis, or even AI, Brilliant breaks it all down into interactive lessons that actually make sense. For starters, Brilliant helps you build problem-solving skills by solving problems. No boring lectures or rote memorization, just real knowledge you can apply immediately. Plus, they make it ridiculously easy to build a daily learning habit. You can log in for just a few minutes, tackle 1 or 2 lessons, and walk away feeling like you've actually accomplished something. Let's say you're into math. Brilliant lets you start from the basics or challenge yourself with advanced topics. It's the kind of learning that's actually useful in your everyday life. Or maybe you want to learn coding, which, based on your recent comments, I know a lot of you do. Their programming courses let you start building programs with Python from day one. Whether it's games, apps, or just impressing your friends with your newfound nerd cred, Brilliant's got your back. If you want to try Brilliant for free for a full 30 days, visit Brilliant.org. Summon FilterJ or click. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. Big thanks to Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Now, let's talk about what this actually looks like in practice. First, train yourself to notice details. This means putting your phone down, taking out your headphones, and paying attention to your surroundings like you're the main character in a detective show. What are people wearing? What are they doing? Are they fidgeting, checking their watch, scrolling on their phone? These little things tell you a lot. Second, practice turning observations into comments. Most people get stuck here because they overthink it. They worry about sounding weird or intrusive. But the reality is no one cares as much as you think they do. So, when you see someone in a bright yellow jacket, just say, "That's a bold color choice. I respect it." Done. It doesn't need to be original. You just have to open the door. Finally, get comfortable with silence. Not every observation will lead to a conversation, and that's perfectly fine. The point isn't to force anything, it's to give people the opportunity to engage if they want to. If they don't, you move on, no harm, no foul. The more you do this, the easier it gets. You start to realize that small talk isn't about impressing people or proving you're interesting. It's about standing on your feet, paying attention, and making people feel seen. That's it. It's not that deep, but it works. And honestly, once you get good at it, it's kind of fun. So, whenever you find yourself in a situation where small talk is inevitable, and let's be real, that's almost every social interaction, try active observation. Notice something, comment on it, and let the conversation unfold naturally. You don't have to be the popular kid, you just have to be present. And once you nail this, something interesting happens. Small talk stops feeling like a chore. It becomes a game, a fun game. You start to enjoy noticing things and seeing how people react. You stop worrying about what to say because you realize it doesn't matter. What matters is showing up, paying attention, and making people feel seen. That's the whole point. So next time you're in line at a coffee shop, notice the person in front of you. What are they wearing? What are they holding? How are they standing? Take one thing, make a comment, and see what happens. Worst case, they don't respond, get creeped out, and you move on. Best case, you've just made a connection.